Hi, my name is Colleen Hoeflinger, and I'm a student support facilitator in Maplewood, Lindbergh, and Valley Park. And today we're going to be talking about break areas in the classroom, but we're talking about it in your homes. So a little overview, we're going to talk about why the break area is important, different types of break areas, what are the signs to recognize that your child needs a break area, and what strategies you can work through. So first of all, what is a break area? Well, it's a learning center in the home or classroom used to teach self-regulation. It gives the children a place where they can transform their upset into learning. And something majorly important, it is not a punishment. It should be used with a positive connotation, not a negative connotation. So you look like you need the break area, you need to go. We're not going to say that. We're going to say, you look like you need the break area. Your head is down, your shoulders are slumped, or you look very tired, you're rubbing your eyes, you're yawning. So those are types of things that we want to let the child know that we know they have big feelings and it is okay to take a break. That is something that they need to learn. And we're helping them to recognize those signs that they need to take a break. So this is a quote by Dr. Becky Bailey. She founded Conscious Discipline, and there are lots of great resources you can find of hers on Pinterest, Google, even YouTube. So feel free to look her up. But she says self-regulation is the missing link for academic success. And if we think about that, we teach children reading and writing and spelling and things like that, but we don't always teach self-regulation. And that is one of the most important things for anyone to learn in life. Because if we don't have the ability to regulate ourselves, then everything around us is upsetting. And it's hard to learn any of these other things when we are constantly in a state of unrest, upset. So how do I set up my break area? The thing I always tell classroom teachers and families is do it together. Do it with your child. Where do they think it should go? You guys can decide on that together. I always think it's a good idea to have it somewhere out of the main drag of your house. What will be in the break area? So mainly in our classrooms, we might have a mat, or it might be a beanbag, or a blanket and a pillow. It's pretty simple. As you see, we do have like baskets and things like that. But a lot of times those are things that we, the teacher, control. So we have that basket, but we wait until the student is calm and we check in on them and we say, do you need anything from the basket? Would you like me to bring the basket over? Because as we know, oftentimes those things in the basket, if they're over there and the student is upset, they could be thrown or ripped or things like that. So we want to present them to them when the child is calm. We also say like weighted lap buddies, weighted stuffed animals, weighted blankets. Those are great too. Just again, you want to make sure that you're monitoring that. So there are two types of break areas. The first is a gross motor break area. So this is where you see your child running all around the house. They can't sit still. They're a wiggle worm. They're falling out of their seat. They need to move their body. The other one that we just showed is the calm down area. So that's when a student needs to calm down emotionally. So we're going to look at both of those. Here's some pictures of some classrooms where we had the gross motor. So you don't need a big spread. You can use one of these or switch things out. Or if you don't have the area, we can give you some things they could do on a wall or things like that. But you see these stepping stones. There's a sit and spin, a stationary trampoline, the little small one. A yoga ball is always great. You can roll it over the child, or they can bounce on it, or they can roll on their belly as you're holding their legs. A tunnel, those are good. This is like a little board that they can rock on, or they can stand and rock on it, depending on their balance. Other things we can help you with, again, if you have a smaller space, wall push-ups, wall sit-ups, things like that. we are always here to help you. And you can, talk to your child's teacher, and then we can get a hold of you to work on some of those things. So these are some of the calm down areas that we have in some of the classrooms. You can see they're usually like a smaller space. Sometimes they're like a little corner, which the kids seem to like. In Lindbergh, we use these cozy cubes. Sometimes at home, I hear kids saying, I have a tent, like a little pop-up tent, or I've made like a little fort that I go into. Those are all great, and that's okay. Like I said, get your child involved, because the more buy-in they have, the more they're going to want to use it. So a huge thing I always say is we need to teach them how to use this. We have a great book, and you can buy it, on Amazon or anywhere, and it's called Calm Down Time. So we read that book, we go through it a lot, and then we role play how to use the break area. So you, as their mom and dad, can utilize that and show them how to go to the break area. You could say, oh, just so frustrated. I'm so frustrated. I'm going to go to the calm down area. And maybe you go to their area, or maybe you've deemed your own area as a calm down area. So use their stuffed animals. This one is so mad. He's so mad. Where should he go? And what should he do? Then that way they're showing you that they know what to do, and you're checking for their understanding. So when a student is not in crisis, say again, they're tired, they're sad, they're just a little down, you want to offer those choices. Do you want to go to the gross motor area, or do you want to go to the calm down area? You look like your body needs a break. They might say yes, they might say no, and that's okay. So just offering that to them. When a child is in crisis, and we deem crisis as they're refusing, they're eloping, say in the house, around the room, or trying to get out of the house, there's aggression. They're hitting, they're kicking, they're biting, they're throwing. We want to offer choices, and we say through therapeutic limit setting. And I'll just give you a little example of that. So I see that you're angry, but it is time to put your plate in the sink. Do you want to put it in the sink now, or do you want to put it in the sink in a minute? So either of those you're okay with, but the ultimate goal is you want them to put their plate in the sink. Use visuals as necessary. As we've seen with adults and students, when we are in our front brain, we are able to use our language and do what we need to do. But when we become upset, we go to that back brain. And then we're not able to use our language as readily. So the visuals are very helpful. You can let us know if there are times of day or certain things that are very difficult for your child, and we will help you make those visuals. We want to reiterate to the child that if they're in the break area, you can show me your body is calm by sitting. And whether it's on the floor or in a chair, you decide, because you know your child best. So if they're sitting on the floor, we want to see, crisscross, hands in their lap. Same if they're in a chair sitting, their feet on the floor. This is just our way of again, reiterating to them, this is how we know your body is calm. If they're aggressive, we want to block, and we move with them, and we attempt to direct them to the calm down area, because that's the safest spot for them and the safest spot for everyone else in the house. So once the child is calm and sitting, we want to count down from 10 verbally or non-verbally. I always just put my fingers up. Sometimes I'll actually count, and other times I'll just be putting my fingers down so that they know. We want to review our rules. So it's always a good idea to have rules at your house. School has basic rules that we come up with the students. So usually they're quiet voices or inside voices, hands and feet to self. We use walking feet. A lot of times we'll say toys stay on the table or on the floor, which means they're not thrown, they're not broken, things like that. Deep breathing. So we want to take 3 deep breaths with our child. So we have lots of different ways that we're teaching the children to take deep breaths, so we can always send different visuals home. Regular deep breaths are fine too. 3 we found is kind of the magic number. And also feel free to make up deep breaths kinds with your kids, because we have found that they have the best ideas. And again, they're invested. So we want to do a compliance check after that. This is just to show that the student is ready to come back and work with us, or to come back into your family as a calm human being. So we want to tell them something easy like, touch your nose, touch your toes. And when they do that, we'll move to our next step. We have some great books or calm down strategies. Again, you guys can decide on that together, put it in a bin, squeezy balls, you know, stretchy bands, different things like that that are calming for your child. We also have a book called Working Through Feelings that one of our teaching assistants that works with us has made, and it's wonderful. There's a outline of a body, and they have X's, and they can put it wherever they want. And again, it just kind of shows us, you know, and gives us an opening of, oh, is your hands bothering you? Is your feet bothering you? Is your tummy bothering you? And again, sometimes just rubbing their hands, rubbing their feet, giving them a hug is going to help them calm down. It also identifies the feeling that they're feeling. And then what are some strategies that you can use? And again, those could be in your bin. The last part we want to do is we want to discuss where should your child return to. So again, say it started over putting that plate into the sink. So we're going to say, okay, we are going to go and get our plate and put it in the sink, and then we can move on to whatever is next. But we want to make sure that we're going back to whatever was the problem area so that they know, okay, I still have to do that, but now I'm calm and I feel better about doing it. If it just happened throughout nothing, then that's fine. Then you just let them know what are their choices to return to. If a behavior escalates through any of these steps, then you want to return to step 1, because what that's showing you is your child isn't ready to rejoin your family. They need that time, and that's okay. But we need to recognize that they're not ready if they're refusing to be compliant, or they're start throwing things again, or things like that. They're not ready, and that's okay. We just return to our 1 and we work through it again. So how long do they stay in the break area? There's really no amount of time that we say. Our ultimate goal is that when the student leaves or the child leaves, that they are calm. So if they're in crisis, like we said, they're yelling, they're screaming, whatever, we're not going to say, how many minutes do you need? But if they go over there on their own and they're just hanging out and you have something you need them to do, or you're getting ready for something, you can definitely go over and say, hey, you're doing a great job in here. We need to blah, blah, blah. Would you like 3 minutes or 5 minutes until you come on out? And usually, you know, if they're calm, they're going to give you that answer. You set a timer. When it goes off, you come back. If they say, I need more time, you can always say, you know what? Thanks for telling me. You can have 1 more minute. I'm going to set the timer. When you hear it, come on out. So you're kind of giving them a little bit of that buy-in again. And so they know that they're helping with their own ability to calm down. So we don't want to have them come out just because we need them to, but we understand there are time restrictions on everything. So that's just something you're going to have to figure out. Is it more important for them to come out and go to the next thing in your household, or would you rather they calm down and you're late for whatever you need to do? That's definitely going to be up to you. So that's our presentation. And if you need anything, please contact your child's teacher, and they will contact the student support facilitator for any visuals or help you need in setting up a break area in your home. Thanks again.